Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Good Morning Soul. I would like to preface this video by saying that recently I went to Orlando, Florida on vacation, and this was an opportunity since I got back. I wanted to make more time capsule type of videos on my experience, not only because I thought it'd be interesting as we close Good Morning Soul, and because I went to Disney before in like 2 years ago. I only went to the Magic Kingdom though, and ever since then I was like, oh, I should have made a video about that. Unfortunately, I did not. But this is another reason why I love Good Morning Soul. I get to capture things like this. The only reason that made me hesitate is I've been fairly sick since I went. I'm pretty sure I caught some fucking colds in that hive mind of human bodies just circling me 100% of the time. And like this was one of the first times I went to record. Like I just woke up like 5 minutes ago. I have like an hour and a half before I gotta be at work all day, and then the rest of my time is already stolen. So these few minutes are all I have. So I try to make them count. And I went to do my audio checking, like audio check 1 2, audio check 1 2, and I was disgusted by my own voice. So hopefully that doesn't distract too many people. But I'm gonna start. Basically, I went to Universal, I went to Magic Kingdom again, and I went to Animal Kingdom, which are 3 separate parks. If you don't know anything about Disney World, it's a giant utopia built up of different theme parks that are all like right next to each other. But I thought I'd do something different. I went to Universal first. I was kind of the most excited for that one, and it really paid off because out of all the parks I went to, this was easily my favorite. Maybe not like all of the parks in the world that I've been to, but the Orlando parks, the world of parks over there. This is easily the best, which is kind of unfair because technically I went to 2 different parks. Like Universal's weird. They like when you get the tickets, it's like, oh, you can buy 1 park for the day or 2 parks for the day, not 2 different parks for 2 separate days. So, and you have to take the Hogwarts fucking train to get to the second park. So, I know Universal, I didn't get to do nearly everything. Like, whereas Magic Kingdom, I was like, well, I've pretty much been on 90% of the rides, and 5% of them are kids' rides, and the other 5%, like, I just don't feel like going on. And then Animal Kingdom, it was kind of just like half zoo, half theme park, and I went on a good amount of the rides. I would have been on all the other ones, but the lines are just fucking terrible. We'll talk about lines and shit when we get to it. But Universal, easily my favorite part of my whole trip. It was so much fun. Whereas Disney kind of feels like this corporate fucking shilling, like at the same time they're like you're just a human body and these other humans are like leading you to go everywhere. There's people asking you for money around every corner. The food's overpriced, which it's overpriced at Universal. It's overpriced at any theme park, which is evil in itself. But at Universal, at least, I was able to kind of just be a film fan, right? Whereas Disney seems to have this weird agenda. Like, let's capture the hearts of children and fucking keep them forever, and they'll keep coming back and giving us money. Not saying that is their mindset, but you definitely feel it, right? At Universal, at least, it's just like, hey, if you like fucking movies, we have a place for you. You know, it's just kind of not. I don't want to say celebrating movies, but it's a cool way to do that. Just be like, hey, look at all these cool things. And then they have like a Simpsons area. I didn't really fuck with that because I don't fuck with Simpsons all that much. And then they got like an area just made for superheroes, like Marvel superheroes. That's really cool. And then they got a whole bunch of other rides. Another thing I noticed, this is also something that ties in with Disney, is they don't seem to care about how good their films are. They seem to care about how much their films made money. So you would think you would only want to make parks for your biggest successful movies that everybody loves. And they don't care about that last part. They just care about their most successful movies, which tells me that's their biggest W's to them. Like Transformers to them is a fucking huge ass success and everybody loves it. And that's why they had the Transformers ride with a giant fucking Optimus Prime on top of it. Not like an Optimus Prime that people actually love from the cartoons. Hey, my alarm. It's the fucking Optimus Prime from Michael Bay movies, right? And I don't want to talk shit about that ride because it's actually like my favorite ride. No, that's not true. The Harry Potter one, the one where you get to go into the castle, that's my favorite one. But other than that, a lot of their rides just kind of seem to consist of you being on a machine that kind of moves a little bit and then like throwing you from like a realistic screen to another realistic screen. For instance, they have a Fast and Furious ride where you're on a bus and you're driving and the bus is like kind of moving, and while it's doing that, your sides, it's showing you screens of like realistic shit and the bus and everything. It's making it feel very realistic. And there's a bunch of shit like that. A lot of the Marvel rides are like that too. There's a Spider-Man ride. It's basically like you're in some kind of New York Peter Parker fiasco, like you're just being thrown at a bunch of shit. And there's a Hulk ride, which is a giant roller coaster. All these things have gimmicks, which I love. There's a Jurassic Park area that's actually really cool. That's like a water ride where there's a giant T-Rex, and I like this broke the illusion for me, like because it was a very mild water ride. Like there's a big distinction between which rides you can pull your cell phone out of and which ones you cannot. And towards the end of this Jurassic Park ride, which is a really cool ride by the way, you see this giant T-Rex, and I pull out my phone, and immediately I hear some woman to not tell me to use my phone, or like they announce it. I'm like, oh shit, and it just made me like, how the fuck, like this whole fucking place, there's no freedom, there's no there's no individuality in your experience, there's none of that, which kind of sucks. But you know, you get to take pictures in front of the big castles and shit. The main coolest part of Universal, the main reason I was going, was the motherfucking Harry Potter area, which it's broken down into two separate areas. There's Gringotts, which is a part of the main park, and that has a big ride, and they got the dragon from movie 7 on top of the bank, which is really cool. It's like life size. It looks really cool. Apparently it spits fire once in a while. Like, I was told every 10 minutes, but then I kept looking, and I know that shit is a lie because it did not spit it out every 10 minutes because I did not see it. But, good God, I'm just looking at some of these pictures online, and it's just packed. Like, I went in December, like early December, and it wasn't cold or anything, but I don't know. I assumed it wasn't that busy. But the Gringotts ride is actually really cool. It's another one of these like on rails rides, and you basically, which works perfectly. The reason they chose Gringotts is because in Gringotts you ride a fucking ride to get to your vault or whatever. So that's what happens here. And then like Voldemort and his fucking Death Eaters are like shooting stuff at your cart to make it fall, and then oh shit, fucking Charlie Wheezy or someone like caught my ride using fucking Wingardium Leviosa. And it was a really cool ride. Not as cool as their. I'll get to that when I get to it. But other than that, we got fucking, drink. You get to do a bunch of cool stuff. You get to go in all these shops. You get to spend way too much money on wands, which I did not do. It's basically the same shit you can get online, like the robes and shit. Only it's like $30 more for everything, right? Like if you want to get a wand, it's $60 at Barnes and Noble. It's gonna be $100 here. Just little things like that. You want a fucking butterbeer, which by the way, I did not get a butterbeer. I got a frozen butterbeer, which tasted amazing. It tasted amazing. I thought it was gonna taste like ass. It tasted amazing. I was so surprised. But yeah, Gringotts / Diagon Alley. That place, really cool. Yeah, it does shoot fire. I'm looking at a picture where it's shooting fire. That's bullshit. Anyway, so after that, you get to go on a train and go to Hogsmeade, which is the town right next to Hogwarts. If you don't know, you don't really like. They need to make a fucking. There's a ride where you get to because the line is so fucking big, you get to basically be inside of Hogwarts for a little bit, right? That's not really enough, that's where all 7 movies take place. You think you would like be able to experience that a little bit more than going on one ride, but whatever. But that ride is basically, and it's another on rails thing, but like your feet are dangling and you're like going around broomstick. It's basically it's just a celebration of fucking the world of Harry Potter as you're exploring it. It's amazing. I love that one. I felt like the Transformers ride like was more cohesive and realistic and kind of fun, but this one just made me care a lot more. Like it like hit me in the feels a little bit. The music was a lot better because even after hearing the Harry Potter soundtrack on repeat all day, I was still able to get a kick out of it for that ride. Other than that, Hogsmeade is really cool. We went in wintertime, so seeing the snow and stuff, my girlfriend was like, oh, look, they decorated for winter. I was like, it's kind of like that all the time. But, or at least in the films, you're only allowed to go there in winter, so that's why it's only seen like that. But anyway, another thing, the layout of the fucking castle changes in every movie. So, like, when they decided to go with this look for how it would look, like it looks like Hogwarts, but it looks like you're seeing like one angle of it. Hogwarts is supposed to be fucking gigantic, right? And then they do the, because Disney does the projection on the side of the castle as they do fireworks and stuff. They do that, but with the Hogwarts castle, which makes it feel like kind of like their big thing that they do. I love that. I love that they do that. And again, we went in wintertime, so there was this big winter feel. I was more in the Christmas spirit during this vacation than I will be when I be around Christmas time, and I'm just gonna be working stupid hours. So that's cool. But anyway, other than that, I think that's basically my whole trip here. I know I went on a couple other rides. I went on a Men in Black ride, which was cool because I just saw Men in Black for the first time like a week before I went. I went on one of the Mummy rides, which was really cool because while we were there, she was like, you haven't seen my girlfriend, that is. She was like, you haven't seen the Mummy? I was like, nah, we've had this conversation. And then she's like, we're watching that tonight. And we ended up watching that night. It was a pretty okay movie, as was Men in Black. But their rides were pretty cool too. Again, I love this place. Like, I had so much fun, and I still feel like I cracked the surface on what to do. Like, even just looking at some of these pictures, I'm looking at stuff I wasn't able to do, Oh yeah, there was a King Kong ride that was really fucking cool. That was a lot of fun. We didn't see, I don't think I saw any like characters moving around. I don't know if they do that here, but I know like they had like people dressed up similarly like to the mummy as like these big guys on stilts. That's not true because the Marvel area I met everybody. So Marvel's copyright is weird. Disney's making their movies right now. Sony has Spider-Man. Fox has X-Men. But yet we go to Universal Studios and there's a bunch of fucking they have a bunch of rides for them, and warranted it's like based off their comic characters, which is kind of nice. But I was able to meet Spider-Man, fucking Green Goblin, Doom, Wolverine. Why am I forgetting his name? Storm. Fucking. We basically met everyone because they're all just like back to back. What is the fucking guy's name? Cyclops. That was it. Cyclops. Who was like, "Who's your favorite superhero?" My girlfriend was like, "Batman." And he was like, "Next." And I was like, "Cyclops is my favorite superhero, even though I don't remember your name." And he was like, "My man." So that was all really cool. Oh yeah, and Captain America. That's everyone we met and got pictures with. But Spider-Man, because he's worth more, just got a green screen area where you're able to make a comic book picture. Like, it looks like a comic book that you're green screen onto with Spider-Man that he can sign. Which you gotta spend money for. But I totally fucking spent money on that because that's fucking amazing. And I look like a fucking nerd in the photo, and I love it. Other than that, like, I remember there's a couple rides we missed. There's a Minions ride that I completely ignored. Just little things like that, you know. But overall, it was a super fun experience. Like, out of all the parks that I want to go back to, this is easily like the one I want to go back to. And good God, I've been talking for 17 minutes. I had more to say than I thought. Usually these only go for like 10 minutes. Anyway, I would highly recommend, if you're in Orlando, to go to Universal Studios because it's fucking dope there. Anyway, until next time, guys, with that, thank you for watching. And with that, again, I leave you.